Next, here we apply a CSS. Okay. Now we just check out what type of CSS we apply here. We use a card, my RGB. So we can also apply the CSS. I just copy that CSS in our this detail component. Okay, just wait. I have to copy that. I have to copy that all CSS. I will copy that and just paste it. Okay, nothing is difficult. CSS is very easy. You can apply a margin for the button to display the button in proper format. So we can use a margin. Then we use a card. Okay, just a minute. I just split that screen so you can just understand. In the card, we apply a card that is again a bootstrap card. In that also you can write down your CSS code as well. Okay. Inside the we set a width box shadow. I want to give the box shadow, so I will use a box shadow. On that box shadow, which color we have to apply, that color is mentioned in a RGB format. So you can apply any format. If you want to give hash code color name, you can mention the hash code as well. If you want to apply the RGB format color, you can apply RGB format. Okay, according to your, you can apply. If you apply RGB format, then the last parameter is alpha parameter. Okay, rest of the parameter is there is red, green, blue color. That is a pixel value. How many digits you have to use for the red color, that the brightness, all these things. Okay, and last parameter is alpha parameter, that you can make it as a the transparency level of that color. Okay, if you have mentioned 0.9, it's a little bit lesser transparency. Okay, one is a one indicate that your color is a display properly, it not be blur or any transparency format. Okay, you can set also border radius. If border radius 20 pixel, I just want to smooth corner radius, so for that we use a border radius. Text align to justify means that element will be displayed in a proper format. So for we use a text align justify. We use a transformed style. We require to display that card in 3D format. Okay, not exactly 3D, but I have to apply that effect for that card. So for that we use a transform style. If you use transform method, it also apply that effect. Transform style or transform, both of doing a same. Okay, so you can apply either transform style or you can either apply transform property. Whatever you want, you can apply. After that, I have to apply a background color. Okay, whatever the card is present on that card, I have to apply a color. So by that, I use my RGB. It is my custom CSS class, and I use a pseudo element, that is a after. Okay. After that, we have to mention the content. Initially, I content is black. Okay, because in that because I created a card. On the back side of that card, I have to rendering some colors. In that, I did not write any text content or any other things. Okay, for that we have to use content blank. So that is mandatory. If you remove that content blank, then your color also not apply properly. So make it content blank. Then we use a shorthand property, that is a background. I have to apply the different color. So we can apply that different color in a various format. So CSS3 gives an inbuilt function, that is a linear gradient function. We can use that linear gradient function to apply that color. I said for that linear gradient function, we require how much angle you have to apply for that color. Okay, 45-degree means that color shade will be applied in this fashion. Okay, slightly slanting color will be slanting direction current will be color will be applied. Okay, for that we use a 45-degree. If you want to give 90-degree, 180-degree, you can mention it. According to that color will be, if 90-degree is vertical, apply color, 180 degrees horizontal apply color. Okay, 45 degree it is slightly slanting color will be applied. According to that, you can mention that angle. Okay, then I apply here color. I just apply 10 color, and that 10 color I divide into the create a one frame, 0%, 10%, 10 to 20%, 20 to 30%. I created that is a frame. On that frame, I have to apply the color, red, okay, different color I just mentioned. So is there any conditions to apply in this fashion? So if it is on your requirement, if you want to apply more color, you want to apply 20 color, then you can separate out that the frame 0 to 5%, 5 to 10%. Okay, you can make it difference or the 5%. I created difference for the 10% because I want to apply only 10 colors. According to that, you can apply that color. Okay, then next repeat. I want to repeat that background. Okay, it is again background is a shorthand property. It is applied. This is the first property that which color we have to apply for that background. Okay, space separated. I mentioned the second details of that background. Okay, so background property I mentioned that I have to repeat that background. So apply background repeat, and also how we can apply that background on left margin, right margin, what we have to set it that background, we can mention that, and we can apply that logic according to that. That logic will be you will get from the W3 School website. It is present. I just copy from there itself. Okay, I'm not doing any much more rocket science. Okay? You can also use this website also. I already told. Again, I can mention that position absolute. The position absolute is meaning that whatever your main div, that is your parent div. Okay, according to the parent div, it takes the position of that your current div. Okay, so we can mention that the absolute. Okay, or your main document is there. According to the document, it take the position. So for that we set we put as a absolute position. Inset property is hyphen 3 minus 3 pixel, means you have to apply that color. The color effect you have to apply. Inset color means if display that color, color is goes into the inside of that box. Okay, for that we use that inset. Animation, I have to apply the animation. The animation is a property. I have to apply custom animation. So for that I created that animation name, that is RGB. It is my custom name. It is not a predefined name. Okay, then for that animation is also shorthand property. For the shorthand property, I mentioned that 5 seconds, that is a animation delay. Okay, 5 seconds is an animation delay. Linear, that animation is applied in a linear format because there is a to apply the animation effect, linear format, box in, box out, okay, blur, transform format. So that effect is already inbuilt event present in your CSS3. Okay, so I'm applying that effect of a linear format. So I'm use a linear. Then I have to repeat that animation infinite time. Okay, so I mentioned that infinite means it not be stopped, it always repeated that animation. Also I make it the border radius. Okay, apply the filter. That filter is used your blur function, means whatever the color we apply, that color will be slightly blurred. Okay, so if we use a blur function for that, that color is not be prominently display. Add is a dark color. It's something to display a blurrish format. For that we use that filter method, filter property, and then we can use a transform. The transform method property, what it does, that color is applied from my card. Okay, that is my main card, and that color is applied behind that card. Okay, so bring it that color to bring it back to my color from that card. For if I use a translate set method, and we can mention that minus 1 pixel. Okay. Now here we just mention the RGB. We create the RGB, that is animation. We have to create your animation on your own as well. For that we use add keyframes. Okay, with the help of keyframes you can mention your frame size. Okay, apply animation in the frame. Any animation if you have to apply that has a frame. If you see your movies also, that movie is also divided into the frame. Basically it is when we take a video shooting, it always capture a photo and that photo make it in a movie format. Okay, so here also same, we have to create the that frame, and that frame we have to move. It seem look like a uh, moving parts. For that we have to create a frames. You can create any type means you can create the frame as per your convenient. I just created frame that 0 to 50%, 50% to 100%. Okay, there is no any condition you have to create in that way fashion. You have to create the frame 0 to 10%, 10 to 20%, 20 to 30%. You can on your condition you can create that frame. In that frame I just set a background position. Okay, initially I set the background position is absolute. Okay, means initially it takes your uh, what is the main parent div is there, take the position according to that. Okay, and for the animation I have to that position to move. Okay, that I have to give the effect for the moving purpose. First I'm just shift its a position, that is background position, and shift it 0% to 50%. For next frame I mentioned 100% to 50%, again 0% to 50%. According to that that effect apply for the moving. So I'm just shift its a position. Okay, so it's a very simple animation that will apply for that card.